Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and today I want to talk to you about how to transform your life with these money manifesting techniques I'm going to give you today. I want you to understand that money is just a tool that we use in this world to exchange goods, our services, and it is not something to covet. It is not something to lust after. It is not something to love. Where people go wrong so often in money is they get greedy for it. They love it. They cling to it. There's so many ways this plays out in individuals in different ways. For example, somebody could be poor, could be very greedy. They're willing to steal. They're willing to murder. They're willing to do all kinds of evil just to get a little bit of money. Somebody could be very rich, might be willing to harm others, even create wars just to make a little bit more money. There's actually people out there who do that. The vast majority of the rich are not that way. The vast majority of the rich are actually doing things like they're founding hospitals and paying for schools and wells and all kinds of things that bless the world and using their money for good, but there are always variables. Now, I grew up very poor and I saw a lot of good people who were poor, but I also saw a lot of people who were very evil who would do anything for a little bit of money. And I have no doubt they would have killed if they could have got some money for it. The opportunity just never presented itself. But money is a good thing. It's a blessing. In the very beginning, in Genesis, we read where God creates gold and he calls it good. Gold being one of the earliest, most commonly accepted forms of money. Money's not a bad thing. Money's not evil. Money is not the root of all evil. The scripture never says that. Only fools say that. Because they'll say that money's the root of all evil, and yet they go and work a job for money. So you're working for the root of all evil? Wouldn't that make you one of the most evil people on the planet Earth? It's utterly foolish, and it's not true. The scripture says that for the love of money is the root of all evil. That's how people pierce themselves through with many trials and tribulations and problems, and it's just awful. You don't want to be in the position of loving money. But when you are attracting and manifesting large amounts of money, you're not in love with money because it comes so easily to you. It comes freely to you. It comes liberally to you. You're willing to circulate money. You're not spending it, you're circulating it. You're getting it out there, using it, and it is coming back to you multiplied. You are the blessed of the Lord. And the first technique I want to talk about is visualizing yourself in the position you would be in if you had the money that you desire. Jesus talks about this in Mark chapter 11, verse 23. He says that if you believe that you received when you prayed, you'll have whatsoever you say. You can have whatsoever you say. But notice that key part, that you believe that you received. What would you do if you believe you received? Well, you would visualize the things or the position you're in or the mentality or the freedom or whatever it is that you're wanting. It would be a natural part of your thought life. If your bank account's empty and you want to have a full bank account, if you believed you received, what would your bank account look like? Well, you can visualize that. What would your bills coming in look like? They would look like they were paid in advance. You know, years ago when I got very successful, one of the first things I did was I paid my bills in advance. Now, you can't do that for everything. For whatever reason, some places won't let you do that. But for many things as I could, I paid everything in advance. I wanted to rent an apartment somewhere once. Even though I had a house, I wanted an apartment in a different area. And I was just wanted to pay for I only wanted to be there for about a year, and I wanted to pay for the entire year in advance, and they wouldn't let me. But if you were a person of success and wealth, you could do that. You don't have to do that, of course, but you could do that. So start thinking in ways of what would you be doing, and then visualize that as a manifestation in your life. That may sound foolish, but it actually gets good results. Another basic technique is to not talk as a person without the money that you desire. Stop saying things like, I can't afford it. We can't afford it. It's too expensive. Those words should be out of your life, out of your vocabulary. Instead, if you can't afford something, if you're just looking at okay, here's my account balance, the money I have, and here's this thing, and it's way more than that, and I'm not going to get into debt for it, then I choose to purchase this at another time. Or I'm going to manifest that into my life. You don't have to say anything about your amount of money or lack of money. It doesn't matter. Stop speaking those things out. And even a better question to get both your physical, your reticular activating system, and your metaphysical, your spirit working together, is to ask yourself, instead of I can't afford this, what if you ask yourself, how can I afford this? Get yourself thinking and meditating, get business ideas coming up into your mind and heart, and start taking some action. God will give you wisdom. He'll give you favor. He'll give you ideas and witty inventions that you can go out and bring in great amounts of wealth. But you're not going to get there if you're downplaying your current money, if you're whining and complaining, if you're talking about how you don't have, and you lack and you lack and you lack, you're not going to get it. Now, the final thing I want to leave you with is very, very important. And it's something that if you watch my videos, I emphasize repeatedly, and it's you need to be aligned with following Philippians 4:8. Your thought life needs to be on things that are lovely and of good report. Yes, you could point to somebody over here who's rich and who's very negative. But for the most part, those rich people in the world that you think are so bad or whatever, there's very few of them that are negative about themselves. They may be negative about somebody else, and you shouldn't be doing that, of course. But when it comes to them, their lives, what's going to go on in their lives, they are generally very positive. They are generally expecting the best. They're generally believing for the best, and they're getting it. Sometimes these people don't even know God, and yet because they're following the basic truths of God, they get great results in life. And you, my friend, need to be that person who is following God as a dear child, and you start manifesting the money, the abundance, the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, the health, all the goodness and grace of God in your life overflowing in abundance. You shouldn't be in lack. You shouldn't be suffering without the good things of God in your life. And yes, money is a blessing of God. It's not a curse. And you can say, well, but man created money. It's something you need as a tool right here and now to function and thrive in this society. So it is a good thing of the Lord. It's a blessing of the Lord. And the blessing of the Lord makes you rich, and he adds no sorrow with it, as Proverbs chapter 10, verse 22 says. My friend, you can live the blessed life. You can have what you say. So start thinking about the things that you want. Start speaking those things you want. Start visualizing the end result of experiencing having all those things that you believed for, and you, my friend, will have whatsoever you say. Money, wisdom, understanding, health, great relationships, whatever it is, you will have whatsoever you say. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.